So the main reason I wrote the book is because there's so much misinformation out there. People are trying to be healthy, but they just don't know what to do. They're going to the supermarket and all the things on the shelves are pretending to be healthy. They've got claims on the front of the packets. People are believing what's on the claims, and then they're making things at home thinking that they're doing the best for their health, and yet they're still getting sicker and sicker. I saw a lady on Instagram and she said that she was doing all the right things. She was lowering her carbs and she wasn't eating ultra-processed foods and she was gluten-free. And unfortunately, the low-carb, gluten-free message, it's just not helping people be healthy. So I wanted to give people a simple plan that they could follow that used the latest science and gets them healthy. The reason that what I teach in this book works is that it's completely sustainable. It's not something that you start, you read the book and you do it for 2 weeks and then you go back to old habits. I teach you things that you can change that will last you for your entire life, so that you're working towards health, not just for today, but forever. You're going to be eating foods that are readily available, they're inexpensive, they're easy to prepare, they're delicious, you're going to love them, and you're going to be able to continue to eat this way for your entire life. And that's the secret to the plan. I think people struggle to make lasting health changes because change is hard. It just seems like too big a mountain to climb. And when you want to change something, you have to confront what you're already doing and realize that maybe it's not helping you. And maybe you have to challenge some old ideas and some thoughts that maybe you've grown up with, and you have to incorporate new information that's maybe foreign and might sound a little bit weird, and you have to then believe that this new information is going to be beneficial for you. So all these things are really hard, and that's why I break it down into easy to do sections. And I'm not asking you to change your diet and your lifestyle in one day. That would just be too much and you'd give up in like 5 minutes. But if you start with one thing that's really easy, so let's say drink a glass of water as soon as you get out of bed every morning. That's something that anybody can do. It doesn't cost any money and it's not too difficult to remember. If you start with that one thing and then you do that well and then that becomes a habit, then you're more likely to stack on something else that's healthy for you. So maybe you've drunk your glass of water first thing in the morning and then maybe you're going to put your shoes on and take the dog for a walk. So just by taking things one thing at a time, you're more likely to stick to that new change, that new habit than you are if you want to do everything all at once. These are my top 3 tips for maintaining healthy habits. Number 1, make them easy. Go for the easiest thing that you can possibly think of that's going to improve your health. If you want to drink more water, then drink water as soon as you get out of bed. If you want to eat more fruit, then have a bowl of fruit on your kitchen table. Just make it easy for you so it's no-brainer to do that habit. My number 2 tip is to make those habits replicable. How can you keep doing that habit again and again and again and not forgetting about it? Maybe you need a sticky note on the fridge. Maybe you need an alarm on your phone. Maybe you need to set your gym clothes out the night before so that you trip over them before you get out the door to make you go to the gym. Whatever it is that makes you repeat that habit is going to help you stick to it. And number 3 is habit stacking. And this is when you follow one healthy habit with a second healthy habit. And that just improves your health overall. So for example, if you're already making a berry smoothie in the morning, that's a great habit. And you want to increase your green consumption, so eating more kale, for example, you're not just going to randomly eat a bowl of kale, but you can put the kale in the smoothie, and then that's 2 healthy habits for 1. This book is for people who think they've tried everything, but they're still at risk of disease, such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. This book is for people who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. This book is for people who are overwhelmed and confused by all the conflicting information about nutrition on the internet. This book is for people who don't want to weigh and measure their food and count calories and macros. And this book is for people who want to finally have a plan that's sustainable, that they can keep for their whole life, that helps them maintain their health and also helps them prevent those diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. My 3 top tips are: start with what you already like. I'm sure you already eat some plant foods. Do you like bananas? Keep eating bananas. Do you like broccoli? Keep eating broccoli. Hey, if you don't like broccoli, don't start eating broccoli. Eat the things that you like. Maybe it's peas, maybe it's carrots. So start where you are and keep eating those plant foods. The second tip is take recipes that you already make at home and swap out the animal products for some plant-based products. So for example, if you make spaghetti bolognese, take the meat out and swap that for lentils. You're still going to have spaghetti bolognese. It's going to be delicious, but you're going to save all that saturated fat and all that cholesterol. The third tip, and this is a scary one, is try new things. Not all the time, maybe once a week. Next time you go to the supermarket, buy one new plant food that you haven't tried. Maybe it's tofu. Maybe it's tempeh. Maybe it's artichokes. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just try one new thing. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to love everything that you try, but you might just find some new favorites. I've got 3 tips for you when you go to the supermarket. Number 1, eat before you go. You do not want to go to a supermarket starving, because your hand is going to be in that sample jar the very minute you walk into that store. So make sure you're satisfied, you're not looking for food, and that you've had enough to eat before you go. Number 2, write a list. And I know this sounds obvious. Bring the list and read the list. Because if you don't read the list, you're going to end up with all the things that are on sale, all the chips, buy one, get one free, all the stuff that's talking to you that you don't really need. And you're going to come home and you won't have anything for dinner. And number 3 is stick to the outside of the supermarket. That's where all the great stuff is, all the fresh produce, the fruits and veggies. Yeah, you can go into the freezer aisle to get your berries and your frozen veggies and even frozen grains. And then very, very briefly, head down those aisles only for the things that you need, such as your canned beans and tomatoes and your toilet paper and other things that are non-edible. If you do that, you are a supermarket ninja. You're going to be in and out in no time, and you're going to save yourself tons of money. So a lot of people will tell you that eating plant-based is expensive. Well, eating processed, ultra-processed, plant-based meat substitutes is probably expensive. But the way I teach in my book is to eat whole plant foods. And that's things like vegetables, fruit, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices. And those are some of the cheapest foods that you can buy. Some of the tips that I give in the book are to buy things in season. So at the height of summer, you're going to get your stone fruits and your berries and your cherries. But if you try and buy berries in the middle of winter, they're going to be a lot more expensive. So to combat that, I suggest buying frozen berries, which are picked in the summer and frozen for you so that you can eat them in the winter. And they're a lot more economical than buying the fresh berries during the winter months. So there's lots of tips like that in the book that can help you save money and save your health by eating whole plant foods. So some people may find it daunting and overwhelming to go from a standard meat and dairy American style Western diet to a whole plant foods diet. And that's where transition foods come in. And these are foods that they might look and taste and feel. They might have the same texture as, say, meat and dairy, but they're made from plants. And these foods can be a really important bridge for somebody who's trying to transition from that unhealthy diet to a more healthy diet. And I think that they do play an important part in people's transition. And I think that if this is what helps you move from the meat and dairy to the more whole plant foods diet, then I think that's a great thing. It's not something that I would suggest somebody eats for the long term, but certainly for the short term, to get away from that ultra processed meat and dairy diet to a more whole plant foods diet, I think those transition foods can be beneficial. My 3 top tips for eating out at restaurants. Number 1, have a look at the menu first before you go. Make sure there are things that you can eat or that can be modified so that you can eat them. Number 2, don't just look at the entrees or the main dishes. Have a look at the sides. Restaurants will make you a dinner out of sides if you ask them. And number 3, bring your own salad dressing. I bring balsamic vinegar with me wherever I go. Most restaurants fill their salad dressings full of oil. If it's not full of oil, it's full of dairy or cheese. And save yourself the hassle. Say no dressing, thank you, and bring your own. So my top tip for meal prep is don't meal prep. Don't prep meals, prep ingredients. So what I mean is you're going to cut all your veggies up on one day. You're going to put the TV on, just watch the football, whatever it is, cut all your veggies up and stick them in mason jars and put them in the fridge. You're going to cook your potatoes, put them in the fridge. Cook your whole grains like your farro and your quinoa and your brown rice. Cook them up, stick them in the fridge or the freezer. And you're going to do the same with your beans and lentils. Cook up your pinto beans, your black beans, your red beans, your lentils. Put them in either jars, containers, in the fridge or freezer, so that when it's time for dinner, all you have to do is go, what are we having? Are we having stir-fry Thai? Excellent. Let's get out all the veggies and the brown rice and the tofu and we'll make some stir-fry Thai. Or are we making a chili? Awesome. We've already got the brown rice. We've already got the beans and a few veggies. We're going to put them all together and we're going to make dinner. And it's going to take a lot less time. Plus, you can go wherever the vibe takes you on whatever night. So if you feel like having Indian for dinner, you've already got those herbs and spices. You've already prepped the lentils. You just whip yourself up a quick curry. You're not beholden to a meal that you made last weekend that you've eaten every single night and that you're sick of already. So it allows a little bit more spontaneity and flexibility for your dinners, but it also makes them so much quicker because you've done all that hard work first and it's just a case of putting things together and heating them up and dinner's done, just like they do on TV. It's the magic of television, but it's in your house. The thing that makes my book different is that I have distilled the scientific research from the last 30 years and I've put it together in a book that you can read. So you don't need to have a degree in nutrition science and you don't need to be a cardiologist to understand the concepts. And I've incorporated practical strategies so that you can incorporate them into your life and so that you have the best chance of improving your health in the long term. I teach the 6 pillars of a healthy lifestyle, and they are plant-based nutrition, physical activity and exercise, getting enough restorative sleep, having connection to others, friends, family and relationships, the absence of risky behaviours like smoking, drug use and alcohol, and stress reduction and relaxation. And I truly believe that if you incorporate these 6 pillars into your lifestyle, you have the best chance of maintaining a healthy, happy life.